Tonight on SportsDesk. Everything's bigger in Texas. The Canes head to Dallas for a big ACC gridiron matchup. Our In the Trenches crew will break it all down.
And hitting the fairways, how one organization came together to raise funds to keep former Canes in the history books.
And finally, swords and science. A professor is mixing martial arts with medicine.
All this and more.
SportsDesk starts right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Reese Davis, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching SportsDesk.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Halloween, and welcome back to SportsDesk. I'm Mia Hausman.
And I'm Manny Nacarado. Thank you for joining us. And Mia, with Halloween being here, anything the Canes need to be scared about this weekend?
I would be a little bit scared of SMU, Manny. I mean, they just got off a spooky game with Stanford, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, But before we get into SMU, I think we should take a look at Stanford, and Stanford should definitely be scared of the Miami Hurricanes, especially what they did to them. Because last Saturday, the Hurricanes showed that they weren't haunted by the loss to Louisville and bounced back to chop down some trees. Let's head over to Hard Rock Stadium for the highlights against Stanford. Alrighty, everyone. It's an ACC matchup between the Hurricanes and Stanford, and here goes the kickoff. Miami in their camo uniforms, but there's the quarterback, Ben, in for the touchdown to Caden High. That is going to be the first score of the game. Stanford's going to go up early in the first quarter, 7-0. Stanford strikes first on the Hurricanes, but here's Carson Beck with a response up to C.J. Daniels with a head top. Is that C.J. Daniels? Is that Randy Moss getting in there for the Hurricanes in to tie the game late in the second quarter? But now here after halftime, Miami starting to take control of this game with a handoff to Mark Fletcher, and what a day he had. He's going to end the day with 3 touchdowns, and the Hurricanes are going to go up here 14-7. And here's the third quarter. Here's the quarterback for Stanford. Drop back, rolling to his right, and that is a pick. That is Wesley Bissaint. He's going to get a little bit of a return too, get up to the 5-yard line, creating some easy offense for the Hurricanes, and Miami starting to dominate late in the fourth quarter. Here's the handoff to Jordan Lyles, going to make a couple guys miss, make another man miss, and get the first down and the touchdown. That's an easy walk-in score for the Hurricanes to go up 34-7, and Miami's going to get a dominant win over an ACC opponent. 42-7 is your final score. Miami heads over to Texas to play SMU in a big game Saturday.
Miami is heading into their first game outside of Florida, flying over to Texas for their matchup against Southern Methodist University. Our In the Trenches crew is live in studio with a breakdown of how the Canes can avoid another scare this year. Guys?
Thanks, Mia. Welcome back to In the Trenches. I'm your host, Penelope Gilbert, joined by analyst Luca Mucciardi. The Canes took a big win over Stanford, and they bounced back from that loss against Louisville 2 weeks ago. And Luca, we know in that game against Louisville, the offense really struggled to get the run game going, but last week against Stanford, they were sort of able to reestablish that. So going into SMU, how do you see Miami's rushing attack facing off against their defense?
Well, I think the answer this week is going to be the same answer it was last week, and that's Mark Fletcher. He's been the forefront of this three-headed monster that Miami's been using this year with himself, Marty Brown, and Jordan Lyle. That has the Canes 6th in the ACC in rushing yards and 9th in yards per carry. Now for Fletch, a 3-touchdown performance against Stanford, but SMU provides a little bit of a different challenge, the 4th best run defense in the ACC. But take a look at what Fletch was able to do last week against Stanford, because it was money. He was able to get in on those low goal line carries for a couple of scores, and then when he needed to, run north-south, run east to west, able to find gaps in the defense. He ends up with 106 yards on 23 attempts. Going to need another big game from him over in Dallas to get a road victory.
And Miami's defense really showed up last week against Stanford. They were able to force 2 turnovers. So if they keep that up going against this SMU offense that tends to throw the ball a lot, that can be a deciding factor on the way this game shapes out.
Yeah, and for Miami, it's going to be going up against Kevin Jennings, the SMU quarterback, who really hasn't been at his best this season, despite what he was able to do last year. A couple of picks in his last 2 games, 8 picks through the first 8 games of the season for Jennings. Really hasn't been where he needed to be. On the other side of things, though, the Miami DBs have been absolute ball hawks. A pair of interceptions last week against Stanford for Wesley Bissaint and Xavier Lucas. And then how about the true freshman in Bryce Fitzgerald leading the team with 3 interceptions on the season? They've been hawking on that ball really, really well so far this year.
And the Canes are leaving the state of Florida for the first time all season for a big test on the road. So what did they have to do to beat SMU?
Yeah, let's take a look at Luca's looks for this week. First off, it's going to be show up early, homecoming for SMU, take the crowd out of it, find a way to get a win there. Next up, it's going to be more Mally madness. Mally Tony might be the best freshman in the nation. You got to get him the ball, and then finally send them to the stables, send SMU packing, get another win on the road this year.
Well, that's all the time we have. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, guys. The Canes are gearing up for a big-time ACC matchup with another chance to prove their slip-up against Louisville was a fluke. Ashley Friedland and Taryn Jacobs are live in Dallas, Texas, previewing tomorrow's 12 o'clock matchup. What do you got, guys?
Mia, we're here live at Gerald Ford Stadium where the Miami Hurricanes take on the SMU Mustangs tomorrow at noon.
Ashley, we're going to play a game of quick snaps. So first, what does Carson Beck need to do to have a big game tomorrow?
Beck already has 1,700 yards on the season, but we've seen a lack of consistency when it comes to ball control. So he needs to have ball control, and he really needs to manage his offense pre-snap to control that end of the game. But speaking of quarterbacks, Kevin Jennings for SMU has had a nagging ankle injury, for the entire season. How does he manage Miami tomorrow?
It's going to be a tough one for him to manage. We saw him struggle last week against Wake Forest, and he's going to struggle against Miami's defensive line of Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor. They've been great all season, and they're going to really give an injured quarterback a run for his money. But speaking of defense, we're going to talk about SMU's defense, who's extremely turnover heavy. Tell me about them.
That's right. They're currently ranked #1 in the nation for forced turnovers in the country, and that number is 20, but they have a weak spot in their secondary, and that comes in from their pass defense. But of course, Miami does have the spread covered right now at 10.5. But what does a win for either of these teams mean?
Actually, a win for Miami obviously puts them back into that college football playoff conversation that they were in before that loss to Louisville. And for SMU, just a huge upset and a big statement win for them to put them on that national map.
That is all the time we have for you today.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Ashley and Taryn. With plenty of turnover, Miami's receiver room had plenty of questions going into the season. Not only has one guy answered the bell, he's leading the way for the next generation. Dylan Davis has the story.
Pressure off his back foot. Up for grabs.
On the field, CJ Daniels is hard to miss. A playmaker, a leader, and a driving force behind the Miami Hurricanes offense. But behind every big play is a story, one built on perseverance and growth. From a young age, Daniels knew football was more than just a game. It was his calling. Before arriving in Miami, his journey took him through Liberty University and LSU, 2 stops that molded his mindset and his game. He faced transfers, injuries, and uncertainty, but each challenge pushed him to become even stronger.
I think all my injuries and everything that I went through was a testament of the adversity that I had to go through.
Now, Daniels has taken on a new role, not just as a player, but as a mentor.
Our relationship off the field is like a younger brother and a big brother. Him coming in from a different school with experience, he took me in as a younger brother, taught me the game, different stuff that I know. Just off the field, he's a funny guy. He like to play all the time. People always think he's serious, but he always playing.
For Daniels, leadership isn't about being the loudest voice. It's about setting the standard every day.
Really just knowing that, I'm the leader in the room and everything I do is observed. Everything I do is a reflection of the receiver group because I'm the leader and I'm one of the guys that they look to. So just doing everything with purpose.
Football has shaped CJ Daniels in more ways than one. It's taught him lessons that he can use both on and off the field.
There's a lot of tools that you need in life that you gain from football. Living like patience, just teamwork, working together. There's a lot of different things that I can take from football and related to the real life, the real world.
CJ Daniels' story shows that leadership, much like respect, is earned through experience and overcoming obstacles. For UMTV, I'm Dylan Davis.
Thanks, Dylan. Coming up on Sports Desk, Johnny Muschin brings us the spooky details of Canes' social media on this week's edition of Behind the Post.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Halloween might be a little too spooky for scaredy cat Johnny Muschin, but it won't stop him from bringing you the latest in Hurricane social media. Johnny, take it away.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Behind the Post. I'm Johnny Muschin, and I'm your host. Or should I say, roast.
All right, enough of that. It's killing my voice. Now, I gotta be real. I love Halloween, but I hate getting scared. So thankfully, I'm in Miami and not Dallas, because SMU is surely in for a spooky night. After chopping down the Stanford pine tree in the ugliest uniforms I've seen in my entire life, the Canes are sure to bring the horror to the Lone Star State. Luckily for Miami fans, their Halloween plans aren't going to go rotten. For the next week, the Watsco Center and the Knight Sports Complex are going to be some of the hot spots to go as basketball season is bone-chillingly close. And now, with a new 5-star recruit in Caleb Gaskins, the ACC better get ready for a frightful Cane squad. I don't know about all of you, but my favorite thing to do on Halloween is to watch some horror movies. And I think we have our new antagonist in Sebastian the Ibis. I don't really have too much explanation for what I'm about to show you. I just need all of you to observe this madness.
Tactical nuke inbound.
Even though things can get spooky, I'm here to hold your hand and take you through the best of Hurricane social media. I'm Johnny Muschin, and I just took all of you behind the post. Back to you.
Thanks, Johnny. Last week, the Sports Hall of Fame announced its 10 newest inductees, and I got to go to one event that shows how the community built by the Hall goes beyond its four walls.
A drive that goes further. That was the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame's mission at the Biltmore in Coral Gables on October 16th.
Our 33rd annual golf tournament was a way for us to have some fun with a lot of former athletes, some of our greats that showed up, the Hall of Famers.
Fans and former athletes such as Susan Faber-Peters, who played 3 sports at the U in the 1970s.
I just feel it's important to honor our past athletes and coaches that deserve being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So to be a part of that means a lot to me.
The celebrity golf tournament brought many Cane stars back to Coral Gables to celebrate their careers while raising money for the organization that keeps their shining moments preserved.
It's a way for the Hall to get out in the community a little bit more, but also it's a way for us to raise some funds to keep the building looking modern.
The Hall of Fame was founded in 1966 and opened on campus in 1989.
It's just a place that keeps the history, and it's fun because people come back and they have memories. They see a picture of one of our inductees, and it brings back the memories of them as a kid going with their parents to the football games and tailgating.
It's these kinds of memories that keep the Canes athletic community connected well beyond their seasons at the U.
It brings people back that you might not have seen in many, many years, and there's a camaraderie there. Once you're a Cane, you're always a Cane.
If you're interested in visiting the Sports Hall of Fame, maybe to look for your favorite athlete or some Canes hardware, it's located next to the Knight Sports Complex on campus.
Tip-off for Hurricanes Hoops is right around the corner, and our Hang Time crew is in studio with how both the men's and women's squads can scare teams across the ACC. Guys?
What's up, Canes fans? Welcome to a haunted edition of Hurricane Hang Time. I'm your host, MK Easton, and I'm here with our analysts, Tucker Kinney and Aiden Scanlon. Just like Halloween is upon us, so is the beginning of the men's and women's basketball seasons, with both teams tipping off here at Watsco on Monday. Tucker, give us the men's rundown.
Yes, MK, it's finally here, the moment I've been waiting for all season. The men's basketball season will get started on Monday at 8 p.m. against Jacksonville University before continuing play at home on Thursday against Bethune-Cookman. Now, these should be 2 wins, but it's not just the results that matter, it's about how they play. Speaking to Dante Allen earlier this week, he said, we're a different team, almost a different program. Being able to show that in the first game, I think, will mean a lot, not only to us, but to Canes fans. And what are they trying to show? Well, it's those 2 principles Jay Lucas has been emphasizing, hanging their hats on the defensive end and being quick in transition. So if they can rack up a lot of rebounds, a lot of turnovers, and get points in those categories, it'll mean that they're building momentum that they can take to tougher opponents. That being said, I'm excited, but we'll have to wait and see what they can do on the court.
Thanks, Tucker. On the women's side of things, Aiden Scanlon is here to run us through how can the Lady Canes ensure success.
Yeah, MK, well, Trisha Cullett brings in an entirely new side. We have tip-off Monday against Hofstra, and similar to the men's side of things, it's not about the wins, but it's about how you win those games. Miami last year came in the bottom half of points allowed, which is something they're going to want to come out and identify, which is the defensive strength of this year, because once you get into that ACC schedule, it all goes downhill after that. That's what happened last year, the really strong start out of conference, but then once you got into the ACC schedule, it really went downhill. So Miami's going to really look to establish that defensive identity and really start to show that who they are is quick in transition and defense so they can go out and dominate against these ACC opponents.
Thanks, Aiden. That's all we have time for here on our Halloween edition of Hurricane Hang Time. Get ready for some hair-raising hoop hustle starting this week, and catch us next week, same time, same place.
Thanks, guys. And when we come back, Carter Lutz tells us about how one group of students is bringing the love of the game to everyone. This and more when we come back. But first, it's time for some trivia. The game between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays played an 18-inning game that lasted about 6 hours and 39 minutes. Which matchup had the longest game in World Series history? Was it A, the Marlins versus the Yankees, B, the Dodgers versus the Red Sox, C, the Cardinals versus the Rangers, or D, the White Sox versus the Astros? The answer when we return. Stay with us.
All right, guys, with today being Halloween, I gotta know, what's your guys' favorite Halloween candy?
Gotta be Twix for me.
Come on, Mia. Twix are for kids.
Bro, is it left or right Twix for you?
I think I gotta go with left Twix. I'm a big fan of the left side. I don't know why.
What's your favorite?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong. Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Thanks for staying with SportsDesk. If you guessed B, you'd be correct. Game 3 of the 2018 World Series between the Dodgers and the Red Sox lasted 18 innings for a total of 7 hours and 20 minutes. Although baseball season is still a few months away, Sophia Mazza stopped by Mark Light Field to learn about one Canes pitcher and his pregame habits on this week's edition of Athlete of the Week. Sophia?
Hey Canes fans, welcome back to this week's Athlete of the Week. I'm Sophia Maza, and today I'm joined by Canes Baseball's Tate Darius. Hi Tate, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, what are your pregame superstitions?
I don't really have many pregame superstitions. I stick to a pretty strict routine, but nothing too crazy. I mean, maybe like some electrolytes and an energy drink. I like to drink a Rain energy drink. Other than that, that's it.
What's your favorite Rain flavor?
Probably like the sour gummy worm or whatever it is. I don't really care about the flavor. I just like how it makes me feel. You know, I don't drink it all, but it gives me a good kick before I go out on the mound. So.
I heard you're a big golf fan. Where's your favorite place to golf in Miami?
There's not many places to golf here, but usually I go to the Biltmore. It's good. I mean, the golf team plays there, so I'm good friends with them. So I like to go play there a lot. It's a good course, and you know, whenever I have some free time, I like to get out there and play. So yeah.
Golfer and baseball player.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna play a quick game called Hit or Miss.
Okay.
I'm gonna say a few statements. Hit if it's true, miss if it's false. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Day games are better than night games.
Miss.
Miss?
Miss,
No.
miss.
Okay. And then you rather pitching practice over lifts.
Miss.
Miss again?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tate, for your time. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Athlete of the Week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sophia. Sports were made for everyone, and one group of students have taken that mantra to heart. Carter Lutz tells us more.
Tuesday night on the University of Miami campus, and the stage is set. It's game day for the Special Olympics flag football team, and for these athletes, their weekly tradition is able to unite a community.
There really isn't much better than like making a difference on someone that needs it. And you know, these athletes, you know, they work so hard. They have like some trouble like fitting in society. It's just like so amazing that we can bring like an inclusive environment to them.
Among the group of Hurricanes volunteering is President Jordan Katz, a junior at UM, showing what happens off the field matters just as much as what takes place on it.
More and more we just make differences on the athletes. Like that's all that, you know, the people in the club are here for. They just want to impact these athletes' lives as much as we can in the hour and a half we get a week.
I feel like it's so mutual. I get to have fun and play outside, and then they also benefit from it too.
The team's chemistry is on full display. Special Olympics UM is putting together one of its best seasons yet, and every week is a reminder that a team can turn a group of individuals into a family.
All it takes is one practice to really like feel it. Like you might understand, but you don't really understand until you really like get that feeling in your chest. And then once you get there, I mean, really like I feel like you can never turn back.
Reporting from Coral Gables, UMTV, Carter Lutz.
Thank you, Carter. As the Canes soccer season ends, swim and dive season begins, and volleyball carries on strong. Sarah Landau and Liam Hickey break it all down. Guys?
What's up, Canes fans? Happy Halloween and welcome back to another edition of the O Sports Roundup. I'm Liam Hickey.
And I'm Sarah Landau. Hurricanes volleyball was able to get their season back on track last week after beating both Virginia Tech and UVA 3-2 and 3-1 respectively. And speaking of back on top, senior Flor Marie Heredia Colon is dominating the leaderboards in both conference and national play. She leads the ACC in points per set and the NCAA in kills per set. The team currently sits at number 15 in the AVCA poll as they look to send chills down Boston College's spine tonight in their Halloween matchup. Liam, how did the soccer game go last night?
Miami Soccer closed the curtains on their season last night, ending in a rather anticlimactic finale. The Hurricanes battled to a scoreless draw on the road against Virginia Tech, capping off their season by earning one final point in conference play. The tie wraps up head coach Ken Masur's second full year at the helm, leading the Hurricanes to finish 7-8-3 overall and 14th in the ACC. And Sarah, while soccer season is now officially over, Miami Cross Country's postseason hopes are still very much alive. Tell us more.
Today is a big day for Hurricanes cross country. The team is competing in the ACC Cross Country Championships over in Louisville, where they hope to take home some hardware as they round out their season. The team last competed in the Crimson Classic, where junior Maddie Shire led the team to a notable 9th place finish for the women's side. Today will be a big day for the team to see if they can round their season out on a high note. Liam, how did swim and dive go?
It is a quick turnaround for women's swim and dive. After splitting their two-day meet last weekend in New Jersey, the Hurricanes pivoted quickly to face off against Florida Southern at home today. The action kicked off at 2 p.m. in the Witten Pool as Miami looked to hand the visiting Moccasins their 5th straight loss.
That'll do it for the O Sports Roundup. Back to you. Still ahead, how one NHL team is making a difference. We'll be right back.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
Of course I've thought about it, but there's all this stuff in the way.
Oh, you're not kidding.
The house, the kids are going to college.
My new car.
Car? You bought a new car?
Oh, hey, you should meet my friend Avo. Avo's a retirement coach. He'll help get you started.
But what does Avo tell you to do?
You don't know? Focus on your future. Your goals can still be met.
But how?
Target your tomorrow and use the Avo bet.
You sing?
Not really. A is for taking action. Start off with a plan.
You built these letters?
Yep. V is for variety. There's so many ways you can.
I follow you.
Come on. O's for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice sign.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Cool.
Stress can be tough to manage, but one UM professor uses a hobby he's done for years to make sure his students take a second and breathe. Shay McDonald has the story.
There are many professors at the University of Miami School of Medicine, but one stands out for his calmness. Dr. Juan Pablo de Rivero Vicari.
It's normal to be nervous, but if you can control your breathing, you can control the rest of your body.
Vicari has become beloved by his students, who he helps stay calm in the middle of stressful times during their studies.
He's kind of like the opposite, because I get stressed out a lot, and he kind of calms me down when I'm worried about like a project or something.
But Dr. Vicari doesn't only spend the time in this lab. During his free time and on the weekends, he takes off the lab coat and he steps into the dojo and trades in that lab coat for a sword.
For 17 years, Vicari has been practicing Iaido, which is a Japanese swords art that dates back to the 1500s. Iaido focuses on being aware of your surroundings and staying calm in order to respond fast. And through his time studying the craft, Vicari has taken those lessons and applied it to his teaching, including inside the dojo.
He was actually one of the first senseis that taught me Iaido. I distinctly remember it was the second lesson that I ever was here, that he was the one that actually really took the time out to really teach me the forms.
And through the art of Iaido, not only is Vicari able to teach at a higher level, but live a better lifestyle too.
Breathe, make a plan, and then execute. So and that's how I go about doing things, so that that helps me live a healthier life.
For UMTV, Shay McDonald.
Thanks, Shay. Last week, we raved about how Victor Wembanyama looked like an alien. Well, last night, Bam Adebayo made him look human. Let's head to San Antonio for this week's Play of the Day. All right, so it's a close one here. Bam gets a pass deep in the corner. He forgoes the three-point play to put a Bam slam dunk on 7'5" Victor Wembanyama. Look at Bam just pass Wemby here and go up for the layup. This is a crazy slam dunk. Unfortunately, the Heat would go on to lose this game 107-101, but a great play nonetheless.
Switching from the field to the ice, the Minnesota Wild made one young hockey fan's dreams come true. The Minnesota Wild faced off against the Pittsburgh Penguins Thursday night, but before the game, the Wild signed Weston Paskowitz to a one-day contract with the team. Weston was diagnosed with leukemia last January. The Make-A-Wish Foundation heard about this and contacted the Minnesota Wild and made this young man's dream come true as he got to practice with the team, getting to score goals on the goalie, and it really doesn't get any better than that. What a great story out of the Minnesota Wild.
I love a good community story like that. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. Thank you for joining us.
Make sure to catch us here every Friday, same time, same place. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a safe Halloween, too.